This is the lesson 2 tutorial for CE151 and Valpo. This week we're going to do some starting off some of our basic modification commands and drawing commands and working through that. The instructions, you'll find those either on Blackboard or in the folder on the S drive. If we scoot the S drive folder over here, you can see where we're at. If remember last week we went through how to find this from on-campus locations, right? If you go over here to the S drive, let me find it here. It starts out here, we expand that, we come down to COE and then CE151. And if you look under class resources, lesson 2, you have the instructions here and you have some files that you can use to get started for both your homeworks and our in-class portion for this week's lesson. From that, we're going to be using, so you can open up lesson 2 instructions. That's what this is. And these are also usually on Blackboard as well. And then we're going to have this ICA. This is the in-class assignment problem, our drawing file to start with. And so we can start with that through there. So we'll hit Control Copy on that. And then you'll go to your own folder, which is up here under CE151A. And you'll pick out whichever of these folders is yours. We've got one in here named Sample. Our sample student. Here you'll create a folder called lesson 2 and open that up, and then you'll paste Control V or drag it over and paste in that drawing file here. And then now we're going to open that up, and I'm using Civil 3D, but I'm using it in AutoCAD mode, and so you should have the same menus across the top if you open this in standard AutoCAD. Or if you open it, like I said, you could open it in Civil 3D as well. If you do, I would suggest you switch it over from Civil 3D menus to drafting annotation menus. So it'll look like AutoCAD through there. Don't open it in AutoCAD Map 3D or any of the other. There's a bunch of associated files that may be on lab computers. You'll want to pick either AutoCAD or Autodesk, Civil 3D through that. This is what it looks like. We can go back through the instructions now. And the first thing it's going to do is talk about object snaps. We talked a little bit about that last week and how to turn those on. It's down here at the bottom in the menu bar. I'm going to move this to the side so I can show you what my menu bar looks like. Down here. Here's the object snaps is down here. You can turn that on and off, and you can change what you're snapping to, what your object snaps are. Through there, and I give you a little diagram here in the instructions about what we want to see in here. These are the standard ones I usually leave on all the time for that, and so you are welcome to do the same, right? And use those there. Drawing commands, then those are up here at the top. I'm going to move this out of the way again from here, and so here's all of our drawing commands. They're up here in the upper. If you are the Home tab. Here's the drawing commands. Since you have line commands, polyline. If it has a little down arrow, that means there's more options underneath it. And so for a circle, there's a bunch of different ways to draw circles. There's a bunch of different ways to draw arcs. Through that, here's drawing rectangulars or polygons. That'll be important later. Here's ellipticals. And here's how hatching and all that. You can also modify things with moving around, copying them, rotating, and things like that. Things that are already drawn. And this is drawing new things, modifying things, changing layers. We'll do that a lot as we go through this semester. So that's our main menu bar. We're going to focus on this corner up here to start with, the draw command one. And you have more drawing commands down here. So, oops, sorry, I accidentally clicked one. You have more drawing commands down here. Extensions, this is doing splines. Again, if you hover over anything, it tells you what it is. Here's a helix, donuts, rectangle, revision clouds. We don't use that very often. And so if you're not sure what it's doing, that's how you get it. Again, hit escape key if you want to back out of any command at all. So looking through the instructions, and this is chapters 7, 8, and 15 out of our textbook. So you can flip to those and it'll tell you more detail about it. Like the instructions that I post here for you guys to follow are not super detailed because I expect you to be looking at your book if you have questions and using that. Let me break this stuff. The way these exercises, in-class exercises, are set up is we do little drafting tools, and I drop all in one file in this case. I drop these little boxes in here, and each one of these is about a different command usually. And you'll see this a lot in the next few weeks as we go through. So let's start up here in the upper left. Here's object snap to practice, and we're going to practice drawing a line from one to both endpoints of the nearest line. And so to do that, let's turn on our line command. I have to make sure my object snap is turned on. Yep, it is. And is it turned on to endpoint? Yes, it is. All right. So that's all good. And so I'm going to snap from 1 to there, and I'm going to snap from 1 to there. So I'm drawing a line. So I'm snapping, and I've already set the layer to be this magenta color, so you can see which lines you've drawn versus the white stuff that was in there before. All right, and so I'm going to do it again. Pick line command, start here, center of that X, snap to that. I've got my user specified, I guess, drawing aids set up so that when I right click, it's the same as hitting the space bar or the enter key on your keyboard, and it ends that command. So I just did that, and I'm going to repeat that command by hitting space bar or enter, and drawing there, and space bar again, and I'm done drawing. So you're practicing snapping. Snapping to the end, you should be right on it. You should see, let's do it again. You should see either this little box, which is showing you that your endpoint. You can see it shows up here on the screen. It says endpoint. So that's what we're trying to do there. All right, over here, we're drawing a line from number 1, the center of that X, to the center of the circles. So let's snap to the center. Let's make sure our object snap is turned on to center. Yes, it is. Okay. So I'm going to draw a line, start there, snap to the center. I'm using my middle mouse wheel to scroll in and out and to pan by holding it down. And now if I get close to the center of the circle, right, highlights, there's that point, got it. Do it again, repeat the command, start there, and I'm gonna get to the center of that circle, bam, I'm all done. So we're all good there. All right. Over here, same thing, and where's the center of this circle? I'm gonna hover near the circle, and it brings up this little crosshairs. Got it. All right. And from here to that one, there. So there's my snapping to the center. Now I want to do from here to perpendicular. I'm going to change my object snaps, make sure perpendicular is turned on. Yes, it is. I'm ready to go. Line for the center, and you'll know if you're perpendicular because you get the little perpendicular item. It looks like a right angle, and it'll say perpendicular, and I click left button and it snaps, and I've got it. So this line is assured to be perpendicular to that line. I'll do it again on this one. This is the hourglass symbol, means I'm nearest, snapping to the nearest. And when it switches over to that means I'm snapping perpendicular. Okay. And then finally the midpoint. Let's see if my midpoint snaps are turned on. They weren't. So I'm going to click that, turn on my midpoint snaps, and I'm going to draw the line from 1, center of this, to midpoint, which is a little triangle. And if you hover there for a second and don't move, it'll tell you what it's snapping to, midpoint. Click my left button, and I'm done. So that's the first one. So we've gone through that. Now circle commands, I'm going to come down here to circle, and I'm going to do center radius. That's this first one. So here's my drop down button, center radius. I'm going to, where it says C, that's where you want to center your circle. And I'm going to draw it through the center of R, and that's radius. Right. That's what they mean by there. Let's do the center diameter. That's the next one. Here it is, center diameter. Click that. Remember down here in the menu bar, it is telling you what it's waiting for. It's telling you what it's doing. So it's saying, okay, you're in the circle command. Specify where the center is. And I'm going to pick C. Whoops, there it is. And now it says specify the radius or diameter. I want to do diameter, right, for that. And I'm going to go through the diameter there. And it doesn't actually pass through that point because I picked a distance, and that distance between C and D is actually the same distance as that diameter. When it was radius, the distance from here to there is equal to the radius, and hence this circle goes right through that R. CD, it won't go straight through it. Right? You're picking it by picking from that second point. That's how you're picking a distance. You're specifying a distance that becomes that diameter right, from that. I can also do a circle based on tangent radius. And so if I do circle, tan radius, right, what should I do to start with? Well, let's read down here. What's it telling us to do? Specify a point on an object for the first tangent of the circle. So let's specify that. Specify a point on the object for the second tangent. So let's do that. And specify a radius. Sure, we pick that. So I'm tangent. This circle it drew in is tangent to that line. It's tangent to this circle. It suggested a radius to you because that's the radius you need to be tangent to both of those things. And I hit the space bar and I accepted it through that. Oh, I wasn't supposed to do that. I was supposed to pick 1.25. All right, let's do it again. I highlighted it, I hit the delete key, or I could have typed E, and now I'm going to do it right. Now I'm going to do tangent radius. I'm going to be tangent to that. What's my radius? My radius, I'm going to type it in, 1.25, hit enter, and there it is. All right, so that's the right one through there. Okay. 3 points, so if I do circle, 3 point, where's my, where's the center of it? Maybe, so we're going to do 3 point. I'm going to click on 3 point, specify first point, specify second point, specify third. And there it is. There's a circle that passes through those 3 points right from that. I can do a circle, tangent. And so here we go, tangent, I drew a circle on from there. There you go. And then you'll just keep doing this through the next steps. Next, you're going to use the arc command. Here's the arc command. You're going to do a 3 point arc. So that's this first one. You're going to click here, there, and there. We'll do one. All right, from that, specify the starting point. Here's point 1. Zoom in a little bit. There's point 2, and here's point 3. So it drew an arc that connects all 3 of those points. You do the same thing there. Then you're going to do start, center, and end. Start is S, center is the C, E is the end point. So you'll pick it based on that. Here's start, center, and angle. And so you'll start, and there's your center, and then you'll type in an angle. Start and center, type in an angle, so forth and so on. You can also do it start, center, and length, and so you'll type that in. Here's the instruction. The stuff in red is for your knowledge, I guess, for how the modifications that you should use for your commands. And so you'll keep working through these ellipses. This is the order that you'd pick the points in, 1, 2, and 3. Ellipse by rotation, elliptical arcs, and so forth. I don't think most of these are pretty self-explanatory, I hope. I'm trying to look and see if there's any of these in here that are particularly hard. Here's spline. Spline is under drawing command down here. So there's our spline with control vertices, and then this is a spline that is fitting through points. And so that is what you're supposed to do in this one. You're going to fit points through, and so we're going to draw a spline that's going through these points in order from left to right. And that's what that looks like. Hit enter, and then I'm done. So like that. And now we're going to do it again, and now I'm going to do my spline with the second option, which is control vertices. And you can see the difference. Right. The first option makes sure the spline passes through those points. The second option means this is kind of the vertexes on that, but they don't have to be on the line. So it draws it in 2 different ways right from there. And now from here, you're supposed to copy it over there, and then we're going to use spline edit to close each spline. And so to copy it, I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to hit up here, back to home, come over here to modify. I'm going to do copy. I'm going to pick the corner here. I'm going to pick that corner that drops it in. And now we're going to type in spline edit. Oops, spline edit. And which spline? I'm going to pick this one first. And what I want to do, I'm going to close it. I can click on close, or I can type in C for close, and it closes it. And whoops, I should have just hit enter. Sorry. Let's do it again. Repeat the command, select the spline, click close, and I'm done. I hit the enter key and I'm done. I do the same thing, repeat the command, hit that one, hit close, hit enter, and I'm done. So it closes them out. So there we got those two. So that was probably a little more complicated one. So I'll show you that. This one, I copied the instructions out here and I dropped them in there. So in the end, these are the centers of each of those little circles. And you should be able to draw, when you're done, it should look like these drawings over here on the right. And so those are instructions for that. That should finish out that one. Polygons, those, you can find those up here in this corner under draw command. Up here is polygons, and you can do rectangular or polygon. I'm going to do polygon, right? Enter the number of sides. And so I want a hexagon. So how many sides does a hexagon have? Hexagon has 6 sides, so I'll type in 6. Down here, where's the center of it? It is right there. And do I want to draw across the flats or across the corners? Am I inscribed in a circle, or am I circumscribed about a circle? Across the flats means circumscribed about a circle, so I'm going to pick that one. And it doesn't tell me, so you can see this little dotted line in here, dashed line. That's telling me what that radius is, and that would be that circle that's in the middle of it. And we don't, it doesn't tell us what radius to use. I'm just going to pick it. There's fine. If we did it, repeat that command again, another hexagon. Yep. And now I'm going to do it. Yep, center of it is right there. And now I'm going to do inscribed in circle. And now it's drawing that dotted line to the one of the vertices, one of the corners on that. And there it would be. And that would be, that distance would be a circle that passed through each of these points. That's why it's called inscribed in it. In this one, it was moving towards the perpendicular on the flat. And so the circle would actually be inside of the polygon. The other one, the circle would be on the outside of the polygon, passing through those points. That's the differences between units across flats and units across corners on that. Donut, the donut drawing is down here. So there's our donut, and we can pick that. So again, if you don't know how to start, read the line down here. Read the command line. And it's telling you what to do. Specify inside diameter of donut. So in this case, our ID is 0.5, and that is correct. And if you want to accept the value that's in here, inside the brackets, you just hit enter. And my outside diameter, it's suggesting 1, and I don't want that. I want it to be 1.5, so I type that in, and I click, and that drops it in. So I've got my donut in there. So there's the donut command. Hit escape to finish the command out. Circumscribe, yep, we had that. Triangles, right, it's all under the polygon command here. You can just pick that and pick 3 sides, and then that would be your triangle. One from that. I think that should be good enough to get you started. I think that covers most of the issues we've had in the past, or questions that come up on this lesson through there. And I'm looking here at the instructions, make sure I'm not missing anything else. That should cover it. And so you'll just work through this. You should, before you're done, you'll have little purple lines drawn into each one of these boxes and each one of these areas, and you're practicing a different command each time. And then on the homework that's due next week, you'll actually do these on your own and draw work on drawings or make your own drawings and use these commands